PM. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. GM everyone, how you guys doing? GM Earther, Shift Blade, ODVB, Lucky, Chet Roberts, Val Phoenix, Mr. Star, Victorious, Sudo. Pumped for more C4 sneak peeks? I don't know, Earther. I don't know if we'll be able to share some of those today. Well. Look who is here. Mr. Santiago. How you doing, Santi? Hey, Daenerys. Ah, that's what I wanted.
I still have permissions to hop in here, Jose.
Santi, you are probably the most powerful person in this Discord right now.
No, I'm not anymore. I just wanted to say hi. I don't want to steal stage
No,
time
no,
from you,
no, no.
Jose.
No, it's fine. You can stay with me if you have time. John is joining us in a little bit. How's everything going, Santi?
Busy, very busy. It's been crazy. Just trying to bootstrap our company, trying to find our value in the market. Uh, I'm sure that a lot of here have started their own businesses or tried, and you know how much it goes into it. So I haven't been
Yeah,
able to follow a lot, but I wanted to be at the brew at least to listen to where things are at.
yeah, I hear you. After the first 10 million, things get hard, right, Santi?
I wish that was the problem. Yeah,
GM John,
yeah, we'll
how you
see.
doing, friend?
Hey guys, good,
Hey,
good,
John.
good. Things are good. Nice to hear from you, Santi.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hi. I'll drop and I'll be listening.
Always good to have you, Santi.
Yeah, I love you guys. And
Yeah.
hi everyone. Miss you. Bye bye.
Oh man, that was good. Made me happy. Made my day. John, how is everything? You you got your food?
I did. I did. I'm full. I had some half-eaten pizza that one of my kids left on the table, so I'm good to go.
You are eating pizza at Wednesday lunch?
Yeah, yeah.
John, what are you doing to those children, John? Children can't eat pizzas at Wednesday lunch, man.
There's a story behind it, but I
um,
don't know.
now I wanna hear it. What's the story?
So there was this like big school presentation that they had, and they brought pizza in yesterday, and there was too much pizza, so they let the kids take pizza home, and then so this is like leftover from this thing yesterday. So
I
lots of
see.
pizza everywhere. We've got to get rid of it.
What kind of pizza you guys had?
I honestly, I couldn't tell what it was. Like my son kind of made a mess of it, so I don't know what it was. I
Right.
just know that it had been pizza at one point.
Oh man, that's funny. In Brazil, Brazil has a very interesting traditions with pizza, like we have sweet pizza, for example. We have chocolate pizza, banana pizza, chocolate and banana pizza. We have some of the best pizzas in the world.
That's crazy talk. Chocolate and banana pizzas.
Would you guys be willing to try a chocolate banana pizza? I want to hear from the audience. It's super good, I promise you. It will be one of the best things you ever tasted. I see people typing. Strawberry chocolate is a good one as well. People are asking me to call the police. Shame. All right, everyone. I think this is a good moment with this kind of divisive opinion to start this brew. Today is going to be a very casual brew. Today is one of those days where everyone is heads down building. Uh, Everyone in the team is super occupied with the next wave of releases. John is there grinding his bugs and fixes and everything. The C4 PTR team leaked a lot of different stuff last week, and now they are working on the final touches to bring the C4 PTR to life. The Zinc people are also working hard. So today we are going to take it easy. We are going to discuss, of course, every product, everything that we have been working on, but we also have a more chill session where you guys can share feedback, share your opinions on everything that's going on in Star Atlas. If you want to bring up DAO related subjects, ideas, proposals, things that you'd like to see in Star Atlas, things that you don't want to see in Star Atlas, or we can just do as Larry is asking, we can cancel the brew and play some marble racing or something. I don't know. uh, yes, Santi. We can get an update on how Holocene is going for those who have been able to follow. John, I think you are the
Yes.
best person to grant Santi his wishes. Tell us, in your words, how Holocene is going. Aside from you being online 24/7 as answering mobs and people dealing with bugs, fixing stuff, working your new intern to death. Please share with
Yeah,
us
my new
your
intern.
current impressions.
Yeah. So I can share that Holosim Chapter 2 has been a much smoother experience than Holosim Chapter 1. Um, we actually spend our time working through game mechanics and building new features rather than trying to make sure that the infrastructure isn't falling apart or that bugs aren't absolutely decimating everybody. So we've been spending the last week or two dealing with combat and repair. Um, you just can't find in testing unless you have scale, unless you have different users, really engaged in the different mechanics. So chapter 2 has been a big success from the performance and reliability standpoint. That's kind of what we set out to do. Um, I think where we're going with this is becoming quite obvious. We need more game loops, and um, we need um,
More stuff to do?
more stuff to do. Yeah, we need more stuff to do. So it's great that the stuff is all working, and now we need more stuff to do. So right now, it's a balancing act. It's like, do I spend time doing, moderating and tracking down guys that are abusing the dock mechanic, or do I spend my time building new features? So uh, most of the time, it's building new features, and yeah, it's been really good. So user numbers are sitting at about 500 daily active users. We have a few hundred new users that join HoloSim every day from Reddit, from our advertising campaign, and so we're doing a lot of um, minor changes to the onboarding process that you guys won't see because you're already all the way through the onboarding process. But we're trying to increase conversion rate of people who click through our advertising campaign uh, into the actual tutorial. So there's some friction there that we're trying to get rid of. And we have a new event coming up. I'm not going to go into too many details, but we have the Super Phoenix event. We're going to start testing that pretty much right away here, and then
Shame.
yeah, we'll have a couple days worth of event happening probably next week, and then that will be an ongoing recurring event, weekly event and daily event for those two quests respectively. And
Who is ready for the first boss fight in
uh,
Holocene?
In HoloSim, yeah.
I'm really looking forward, John. You need to make the
Yeah.
Super Phoenix super strong, John.
Yes, the Super Phoenix is supposed to be very strong. That's hard. It's hard to balance that when you've got guys that are like wanting to participate. Actually, you know what? If you're at that quest, you're probably flying tank ships. So we're gonna make it really
Yes,
strong.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and like we have ship specs for the Super Phoenix, but part of this event is that we can override ship specs and we can give it its own unique characteristics that aren't in the spreadsheets and aren't part of the other game mechanics. So we can be really creative with how it acts. So that'll be fun, and that's going to tie into scanning events later. Similar thing, like you scan a sector and then a ship shows up, and that ship might be derelict, and you might collect something from it, or it could be a pirate and it could attack you, and it could spawn in with different ships. It could be a named ship that spawns in a particular quest.
Are you looking
Super
forward
Phoenix
to
event.
adding that
Yeah.
in this chapter or in the upcoming chapters?
So the Super Phoenix event is part of this chapter, and scanning is a
Mhm.
different chapter.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, John, I see lots of people coming on the HoloSim analytics. Like
Mhm.
the campaign is working. Now I think it's a matter of us adjusting the onboarding. I think it is
Yeah.
the biggest gap HoloSim wise right now in Star Atlas, right?
Yep. I agree. I think new players want to see, they need to see the art in the ships and the crew members and that kind of stuff. They need to see all that stuff. So um, we want to get that into the views and like show people right away through the tutorial, like these are the kinds of ships that you're going to be flying and this is what you're going to be doing with them. And adding more detail that way, more eye candy, gets their imagination going. We also added a new welcome screen that talks about the Discord, and it gets them into Discord and gets them into the community as well. So
Yeah, that's a must.
yeah,
So
prize info.
uh in order of things that are coming, it's the Super Phoenix events, maybe the combat achievements, and then we'll probably end up this chapter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I expect there to be another month worth of um, of gameplay in this chapter. So after the Super Phoenix event, we launched the in-game store. We're going to add some combat achievements. Those will be significantly less amount of XP than the mining achievements. It'll be something to do at each sector, and I'm still deciding how that's going to be. If it's going to be defensive only, or if it's I just don't want any hit trading. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, prizes will be announced. Snapshot. Um, Snapshot is going to happen like
After the
like
Super
like
Phoenix stuff,
after
right?
the
Yeah.
event. Yeah, like after that. So we still have to test that. That's this week. If it's all working, we'll set a date next week, and that would mean the marketplace and all that would come out at the same time as that. So you'll have a few days of advance notice. I also see here like this comment: game loops is greater than art. Game loops is greater than for the players that are actually playing, but our conversion rate of new people that come in and then leave after the tutorial, they don't even make it to the tutorial. The amount of people that click into the game but don't even stay long enough to do the first quest it's like 50% of people drop off before they even click the button to do the first quest. So
That's
that
why
to
we
me,
need art.
yeah, that to me says we need to capture those people's imaginations beyond just the advertising campaign and them creating a character. There has to be more substance there, and the amount of work involved in making more substance. There's very little compared to any feature across the board. So
Exactly. We can just work Jeff to death.
work Jeff to death. Yeah, for sure.
Talking about Jeff, John, just a parenthesis here. I want
Yeah,
to interview him next week in the brew. It is time the community learn about Jeff's existence.
I don't know if they can handle Jeff. I don't know if they're
Probably not.
ready.
I mean, it's 40 years of Star Atlas. They'll be as ready as they can now. Jeff has a very interesting story, and he uses this GIF a lot of Diablo. So, yeah.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, Jeff's our lead designer. He's the guy that did all the designs for Holosim. Um, and I say that gently because he did the designs for Holosim, and then we just went and built whatever as
Poor
closely
Jeff.
as we could. Poor Jeff. So imagine being a designer and having this beautiful like grand vision for something, and then you give a bunch of apes their keyboards and they just build whatever. No, so
Yeah,
it's definitely been a very fast moving product. So and we've had a lot of like flexibility to build whatever we needed to, and then so
yeah,
we
exactly. And we
yeah
always want to add new stuff, and
yeah
he's mad at us because he
yeah
didn't have the designs ready.
yeah,
It's funny.
which is it is funny. Yeah.
Okay. Going back here, Eleanor asked a question about the achievement system. He asked why we don't make achievements only based on NPC fighting. This way, people can't trade hits and etc.
Mhm.
Uh, the the achievement list that I sent you has both PvP and PvE. Maybe a good solution would be to stick only to the PvE, John. I don't know.
You dropped out there. Maybe we could what?
We could just stick with PvE achievements instead of PvP as well. I don't know, like fighting the ecos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, fighting the ecos or like being in a defensive spot, right? So you only get the achievement if it's your territory or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know some of you want the hit trading and PvP achievements. Yeah, it's gonna. This is so. Here's the thing: combat in general was meant, and the achievements for combat and the new combat interface was all supposed to be Chapter 3, and through happenstance we got half baked combat in this chapter. So I'm testing the waters here, and I'm not planning on doing a full blown, combat achievement system. It's going to be very, very specific to something,
Yeah,
right?
Chito, steady. We already giving you the
Yeah.
hand. Don't take the whole arm.
Yeah. Yeah. Big piece of big change on the horizon is going to be um, what Jeff is calling fleet entities and starbase entities, and so getting rid of the starbase menu and having all of the starbase actions happen through entity cards when you click on them. Um, that, along with a marketplace that is dynamic, in that if you're mining diamond, you can't sell the diamond there at that marketplace. It wouldn't make any sense to have diamonds be valuable at the place where you mine them. You have to take them somewhere else and sell them there. So that is a big overhaul on both the economics and the transport system. You mix that with these new fleet entities and zoom levels, and then the scanning changes, and you have a lot more gameplay loops. You have 3 to 5 gameplay loops there, with very little design changes. Well, the zoom level one is going to be a design change, but the other stuff not so much. So, but yeah, that's what those are the sort of the core features that we're discussing for Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, and certainly adding more combat options is on our radar. Yeah.
John, one thing that I was thinking about earlier today was about adding some mechanics using this core infrastructure. Maybe something related to crew members, maybe having them staked on planets to do stuff like quests, things like that. How do you feel about something like this? I think we could use core to some extension in Holocene.
Mix of score, maybe, yeah. I have some ideas about doing missions, and those missions would be given on planets. Like you go to a planet and you access the starbase, and there's a mission giver there. Um, and those missions would tie into combat and mining and scanning, right? And or
Yeah,
transport, like transporting crew members from one place to another. So I don't want to tie more mechanics to the existing crew system, but I do want to make use of a cargo hold crew, like the crew hold of your cargo ships, so that you can use them to get missions done. Yes, for
you
sure.
know, I was thinking something like, for example, there are quests in the planet, and you deposit your crew members just like you had in Score, and there are chances that they win or fail when the timers goes off. If they win, you get resources and items. If it fails, you just lost time and you lock the crew members for the duration.
Okay,
You know?
so I'll take a step back because crew has a lot of utility in C4. And so I want to mimic what we are going to do with crew in C4 here. So I think something that might make more sense would be um, how we're going to do claim stakes, for example, like locking
Mm.
crew up at a planet to give you a boost to the amount of resources you extract on that planet. Yeah, sure. Or through the claim stakes, yes. Um, uh, I don't know what the C4 team is planning for missions for crew, but certainly if we did coordinate on that, we could do something like what you're saying for sure. Um,
Yeah, I think that
yeah,
would be interesting.
yeah, we certainly do want to have a lot more utility for crew, given their prominence in our ecosystem. So,
What you guys in the chat thinks? Should we do something like that with crew members? I see people typing. Jindo was very quick and said yes. Lernor also likes it. Many people are typing. Shame on you, Bakerinho. Yeah, I mean, I also like the idea of having alternative paths that can, lock your assets for good results, but there's a chance that things go wrong, you know? Exactly. Create different types of metas. I think that's of the utmost importance. Come on, Jindo, that's a feature, not a bug. Dark Void is saying, the other day I had an idea while dreaming. What if you had to repair a base before you could buy resources? Otherwise, you'd be buying resources from a completely destroyed base. As you say, what if prices were high while the base was broken? This this idea is one of the basic principles that John and I were exploring for a co-op Holocene chapter, where everyone is on the same side and you are all fighting against the NPCs of the game. It's something that you might see in the future, Dark Void, when John and I go crazy enough to build a co-op PvE Holocene. People want to apply to the ecos, John.
yeah, I do too. I do too. Not gonna lie. Yeah, 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 yeah. Even the co-op thing, even well, anyway, I don't want to go too crazy, but yeah, I'm definitely liking the idea of having a giant pirate ship. Um,
I see Michael in the audience, and I'll
Yeah.
put him on the spot. Michael, what do you think about a Holocene co-op chapter, everyone versus the Tufa or the Echoes? So we got cancelled, boys.
Ugh, doesn't like it.
Michael likes the community killing each other and hating on each
Not
other.
not even doesn't like it, hates it.
He hates it, exactly.
Ugh.
Awesome. See, that's what we have to deal with here.
This is his agent typing.
It's Artemis. I'm talking with an AI. Shit,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Damn it. It happened. Ah, Jesus. So, Michael, we were discussing the idea of having a PvE co-op chapter for Holocene. Could be cool. All right, I'll take it. Yes, it would certainly make us have to develop new systems for achievements and things like that. Maybe we have a contribution score for the whole faction or something like this, where the players that contribute the most in terms of resources, skills, or etc. would move up on the leaderboard. I like the idea of exploring this some chapter in the future, John.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, co-op gameplay is important. I also think breaking out, like we have the PV, the whole world is live and everyone can go there. It would be nice to have instanced activities. Um, I think it was Groove that was saying it would be cool to have the Starbase battles be instanced, essentially, like, and it wasn't this live thing. It was something that happened over the course of a period of time. Um, yeah, a lot of MMOs have instances, and that's where a lot of the progression happens, or at least a different subset of it. And those instances are both PvP and PvE. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. People are saying that Michael should create his army of AIs on the next chapter of Holocene and
Mhm.
simply fight against the community. Michael is a single faction, the Star Atlas Dyson Sphere team versus the community. Could be interesting.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Anyone who's watched Terminator knows how this ends, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute Terminator gif here.
I want to talk a little bit about C4 PTR as well. Did you guys watch the sneak peek that we posted in Foundation Room? Did you see that video, John? You saw it, right?
We've posted a lot of videos in the Foundation Room. With the one with the map and the
Exactly.
yeah, yes. It's beautiful.
Interesting. Michael is training. He's actually training Artemis to fight against the community. It's a learning curve, yeah. But yeah, C4 P2R is also progressing well. Danny is really killing it with the UI improvements. Let me share here some of the latest picks that we have. Check this out, guys. It looks so clean. Yeah, John, we need to hire Danny to create the eye candy for Holosim.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Very nice.
It's looking really cool. I can't wait for you guys to start testing this as well. Ah, it's coming. It's coming. I'm not sure if Michael wanna share anything else in terms of development on both C4 PTR and Zinc, but the latest that I heard, I think if we keep this pace here with Holocene, etc., we'll make a smooth transition, hopefully, and everything will have its time to shine under the sun. I'm reading the chat. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Trying to
It's
figure out
funny. People,
where is this going?
exactly where this is going. Bro is really going after the Pilates class. Jindal, have you know that Pilates is a very respectful activity, okay? Especially for people with bad backs like me. Exactly, Gasnor. I was thinking the same thing. It saves me. Exactly. We respect Pilates in this community. It's a Pilates friendly community. I knew Michael would say something like this. Holy shit. Ah, this is funny. But yeah, guys. See? Oh, look at this. C4 coming soon. That's nice. The PTR, of course. Yes, we are getting there. You you heard here first. I'm super excited. Super excited to start mass testing the C4 PTR. How funny would it be if we actually released it on the 426? Ah, shame. It's a Sunday. Yeah, true. We respect the Sabbath as well in this company. We respect Pilates and the Sabbath. Hmm. What else, John? What else are we fixing on Holocene? I think you have been pretty busy.
Mhm.
Any latest bugs that the community should be aware?
Yeah. So last night I fixed the fleet to fleet repair bug, and there was two. The first one was that the repair stats were coming from the fleet that was being repaired. You can imagine, um, you roll up with your evac and you try and repair somebody. Well, the fleet that was being repaired was setting this the stats for repairability. So we fixed that. And then the second bug was like the interface that pops up when you click on a fleet to repair that wasn't allowing you to choose, that wasn't interpreting the numbers correctly. So now when you click repair and then get the little pop up and you use that slider, it shows you exactly how many toolkits you're going to use and how much HP it's going to repair on that ship using those stats, and that's working properly. And the last piece to that puzzle is to add those repair stats to that view so that you can actually compare. Okay, this ship repairing this fleet is much more efficient than that one. That type of thing. Um, so that's what I was working on yesterday, and hopefully I'll get that UI update tonight. I don't know. Like this is kind of off topic, but for those of you that are building in the space right now, there's this whole thing with Anthropic and OpenClaw, and so we had to retool a little bit this weekend when Anthropic pulled the rug out from developers using third-party harnesses. Um, so anyway, that's just like changing with the times. And I've started to. Joseph and I are working through this Super Phoenix event. I think we're going to start testing that this afternoon, and then after that, we build the new marketplace view. Those designs are finished now, so we have something to work off of. And then I think we're going to dig into scanning next. I think that's the next feature that is going to add a lot more gameplay loops for the least amount of work. So I really want to get that going and maybe have the first version of it in testing here before we wrap up chapter 2 sometime
Oh,
the end of the month kind of thing.
so
Um,
you wanna add it to before chapter 3? Do you want to start adding the?
so I'd like to at least like Holosim is meant to be a sandbox, and so I'd like to get some of those new features in at the very end of the chapter when people are in cruise mode and they're just having fun with their fleets. All the competitions are over, and we do a bit of testing at the end there. Yeah, I think that would be nice. And then a chapter, yeah, I'm not sure what there's going to be in as far as a break between the two. Maybe we'll leave chapter 2 on while we generate the content for chapter 3. I'm not sure yet. But yeah,
Actually, now that you said this, I should start thinking about the quest for chapter 3, right?
yeah, you should. We should. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to start talking about this then. Let's make
Yeah.
sure we do this.
So I have a question for the community. Would you guys prefer to have would you prefer to keep the content from chapter 2 intact um, and have it as an option and then just exclude that XP from the leaderboard so that as new players come in there we're building a content library and we're letting people play through chapter 2 if they want or chapter 3 if they want or chapter 4 each time we do the reset we're building our content instead of like erasing it every time. I'd really like to keep continuity between chapters and have the whole thing as a big story.
Mhm.
And so
This is interesting.
each time you reset, you can go back through those pieces, but they don't really impact progress as much. And we tune them so that they're obviously not. You don't spend a week mining diamonds, kind of thing. You get that quest done. But yeah, with that extra content there, we can tie those into missions and we can build on what we've made instead of kind of tossing it at the end of the chapter. So you'd reset progression, but you'd keep the quests intact, and you could pick and choose which story you wanted to do. You could do chapter 2 or chapter 3. And so chapter 2's story would be all the mining stuff. Chapter 3's story would be the scanning stuff. Chapter 4 would be whatever we do for chapter 4, transport and market type stuff.
But John, thinking of like for example, this would require us to preserve things like the ecos, for example, throughout all the chapters. Wouldn't this constrains us a little bit? Just thinking out loud here.
I think you could. I think that the ecos can exist in certain places throughout all the chapters, like Belifa Grove, for example.
Sure,
Like you could
sure.
literally just have that happen out there, and if you needed to fight the ecos, you go to Belifa Grove and you do it, sort of thing. Yeah, I think it's possible. I think we could maintain most of the content and the story and just have it happen around its given sector.
Gino is asking, would this also allows us to keep the same account?
No, it would be like you'd be resetting the accounts. I mean, it could. No, it wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to keep the same account. Not, you could always just name your new account Jindo, but
Mm.
no, no, we're not at a place where we can keep stuff around. Until we get like the marketplace fully functional, I just plan on resetting every time because I think we did a lot better on the economics this time around, but we could do better. So
Yeah, this is also something that I would like to get feedback. How do you guys felt about the current economy of Holocene? Like having all the orders in all the markets, etc. No trading between players, and especially comparing this experience to the one that you had in the previous chapter. How do you guys felt about everything?
It's worse than my country. That's fine.
Where do you live, Lancelot? So we have a correct gauge of the situation. I love that everyone's talking about Pilates now.
Yeah, no, I think the sentiment is correct. There is no economy. It's uh, the economy this time around was the guardrails to make sure that every quest progression, every action had a reaction, and there's no opportunity even for the marketplace to be a source of grief
Exploit. Yeah.
exploits. It's just completely nullified. So these comments are basically how the marketplace is designed this time around. So to improve that, we now tweak mining rates at different sectors. We add different prices between sectors. So mining at one area results in a sale at a different area to get transport back in there, and then once those things are good, or along with those things, we open up peer-to-peer trading as well. So you have a baseline set of resources available everywhere, and that opens up that transport and full game economy, having combat and scanning and all those other things all in place. This opens up the opportunity for systems outside of the typical map around the edges and in the center to do unaligned factions and unaligned systems, pirate bases, um, where you're transporting the materials you're mining from the center of the map out to these extreme ends of the map, right? So the economy being big in the middle, and then taking the food and resources that are very abundant in the middle of the map, you're taking them into the outskirts so that you can build certain things, and you can feed those planets. So yeah,
I
scale
sorry,
economy.
John. I'm laughing a lot at the people fighting in the chats about the mud mining rates.
Oh boy, what did we do now?
Do you know?
Actually, I figured out why Mud is doing so well this chapter.
Tell me.
It's because we moved Alchemine Exile 6 tiles to the right so that you can actually warp there from Mud space instead of from Ani space. And that one change has made all the difference in the Mud economy this year for this chapter.
Yes, everyone was super motivated to play mud with this change.
Yeah, for sure. 6 tiles south, yeah. It wasn't a lot. We didn't move it far, but it made a big difference.
Interesting. Is there any quality of life improvement that you guys would like to see in Holocene right now? This is something that I was thinking about as well.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, here we go. Bundled warp. Mm-hmm.
That's a good one,
Bundled
John.
warp. Okay.
But you got to explain this one without referencing what was the name that the game of that Age of Empires 2, please. You may only use StarCraft references.
So bundled warp is actually a really interesting one. We have that grid that pops up on the screen. You could literally do one jump and then a second grid pop up on the screen from that point. And you could pick your second point, and then it recalculates fuel. So and then a third point and a fourth point, and you could daisy
Oh,
chain.
We could
Uh,
quit the warpings. Like,
yeah, it would probably go into the fleet orders area, and you'd give it orders to move to a particular like distant location. Um, and it would just figure it out. That's probably the easiest way to do it. There's no like you just say, well, actually that's actually how I do it. So Leonor wants bundled warp. How I bundle warp is I tell my fleet to patrol sector blah, and it bundle warps itself there. And there's no waiting around. That's just how I do it. So there's a bit of a hack there for Leonor, but you could certainly make that that better.
I think what they are asking actually, John, is multi-fleet warp. Like
Oh,
selecting 10 fleets and just sending all of them warping with a single command.
yeah, so that's part of those fleet entity updates and zoom levels that I was talking about earlier. That is actually a feature in the fleet entities, and is sort of this armada mode that Jeff calls it, where you select multiple units and you tell them to go all at once, and it warps them all together, sort of thing. So that particular one is a big change because you have to have multi select on the map. You have to be able to have the fleet orders for all those units. They have to be compatible with one another. Like they have to have the same fuel ranges and all that junk. So there's a lot to think through there.
Could we assign hotkeys to our fleets? It
We
doesn't be
have
hard to do.
Yeah, I mean there are hotkeys for the command view, but so what kind of hotkeys?
I was imagining like fleet hotkeys, like fleet 1 would be like number 1, fleet 2 number 2, and etc. So you just select the fleet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and would that just be in the command view, or would that be like attached to the My Fleets view and work on the map kind of thing?
Yeah, I think working on the map directly. So you are just watching the map and you are controlling it with the numbers and just sending stuff everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We could probably do that.
Like Warcraft 3 vibes.
Yeah, that does give me Warcraft 3 vibes. Um, yeah. Let me just see here.
Yes, Becquerinho, this will feel like World of Warcraft now. Larinor is asking, what about being possible to create an armada composed of multiple fleets? Maybe limited to a level or a fixed number, and the armada warps together with range being the lowest fleet inside it.
Yeah, so
That's
that is
precisely
the
what we are talking about, right?
yeah, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. So we could do something like this with the My Fleets view. You could number them and then like literally just draw the numbers beside them, and then you could have these be reorganizable in the list where you click on them and you drag them to a different position, and then they get a different hotkey binding, and then you could 1, 2, 3, 4 your different fleets and select them that way. That's that's doable. Something like that.
Very cool. They want a button to return to CSS for the fleets.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
See, John,
Yeah.
you start giving them
Oh, I know.
voice, and this is what we get.
This is what happens.
Exactly.
I spend. Yeah.
The duplicate fleet button is actually a cool idea, actually.
So I'm a big advocate for the duplicate fleet button, and we got to get Jeff on here so that he can hear everybody how much they love that button because it wasn't
Yeah,
me
next
that
week,
pulled it out. Might
next
just put it
week,
back in
guys,
there.
we'll have him. Next week, Jeff will be here. You guys can tell him everything.
You know what I'll do? I'll sneak the duplicate fleet button back in there, and then you can ask for it, and then be like, "Oh wait, it's still there. Never mind." And we'll tease him.
He'll be so busy. This is funny. John, Larino pointed out something interesting. Buy
Sure.
and sell from inventory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Buy and sell from inventory. Yeah. So buy and sell from inventory, buy and sell from the crafting view. Uh, yes, like the reason you want to be able to buy and sell from the inventory is probably because the marketplace thing isn't great, or maybe we need to link to it. But yes, there is a whole, like, I have a card on my planner that says overhaul marketplace UX, and it would be a redesign of other areas where you want access to materials. Um, but that, in my opinion, is its own thing. Like that touches a lot of different places of the UI. So yeah, I don't want to just piecemeal start adding little bits in. I'd want to do the whole thing.
Sure, it
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. Jenna is asking, we need a reason for people to play lower population factions, and we need to advertise on the character creation screen for the currently lowest population faction.
yeah, I agree. We do.
My poor
Yep.
roosters.
There needs to be some kind of like bonus, or there needs to be a bonus.
Incentive.
It needs to be advertised. He's 100% right. Yeah, yeah. So, and like the Ooster has some of the best ships, in my opinion. I really like the Ooster stuff. So
Yeah, those two are
shouldn't
the best. I agree.
they have some of the best ships. I'll give them that much. That's about it, though. Yeah, bonus Jindo. Give him double everything.
Oh, Jesus, that would be funny.
Yep. Then we have all the Ooster players starting Mud Alts to keep them low on the population chart.
Make us so great again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Lerno's comment, John, there?
No, which one?
Mechanic improvement. Uh, Captured bases start a timer. Each increment, 1 hour plus, defenses spawn, and they get stronger each time.
Mm-hmm.
Once the starbase flips back, time reverses. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't reset to avoid flipping on purpose to reset it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Starbase defense system was something I meant to spend more time on, and it got superseded. Um, I do have, and you guys have seen it, we do have the mechanics to spawn in fleets, and we have the Nemesis engine sitting there monitoring. Um, so we could do that. Um, it's a big enough change that it would be one of these changes where it goes haywire for a few days and absolutely destroys everybody. So I want to be careful with it, um, and I'm actually, I think people are doing a pretty good job of keeping their territory so far. So yeah, we can definitely do that. We have all the tools to do automated responses and to scale those responses with time held, and um, that is currently going to take a backseat to the Super Phoenix event. I'm going to do that first. Um, so
Yes, no,
yeah,
for sure. Guys, any last questions for us today before we wrap up? I need to write an entire campaign book for Star Atlas. So, code. Very good, Leonard. We have a code for today. Code today is Pilares. No, I'm joking. Casual. All right, John. I think uh, Groove is asking if we are still splitting the chapter.
Mm-hmm. We are.
Yes, Groove. Nothing changed. I think that's a wrap. I think that's a wrap. Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It's a pleasure to be here with you for another week. And get ready because next week is Atlas Brew number 200. Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
Nice.
Talk about commitment. 200 weeks. That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome, guys. Thank you all for being here with us. Always a pleasure. Perfect time to announce the PTR. I agree. Bye bye, everyone.
The announcement of
Thank
the
you.
announcement for sure.
We'll make an announcement of an announcement. Don't you worry. Thank you, guys, and have a nice week. See ya.
Yep.